who I meet. Root fried confusion is making itself clear. Wonder which way I go to get on out of here. Cause I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. And I done said the right thing, but I must have used the wrong line. I took the right road, but I must have took a wrong train. I took a right move, but I made it at the wrong time. I went in the right trip, but I made it in the wrong call.
Details on an alleged cover-up at the Phoenix Veterans Hospital after a whistleblower claims at least 40 veterans died while waiting there for care.
And tonight, that whistleblower, a former VA employee, talking only to 3 TV here locally. We have live team coverage of this case and the growing scandal. In just a minute, Jared Dillingham's interview with a woman who claims her father spent 2 years waiting for care before he died. We want to start, though, with our Brandon Lee. He has the whistleblower's explosive allegations. Brandon?
Carrie and Fields, these are really damning allegations, and a little bit of background for our viewers tonight. The whistleblower you name here is Dr. Sam Foote. A little bit of background. He was with the VA hospital and the medical center here in Phoenix for about 24 years, now recently retired. He's the one who is sounding the alarm here. He claims that these veterans would show up very sick to the medical center, and that proper protocol would be for them to see a doctor within 14 to 30 days. He alleges, throwing these accusations, that a secret wait list was created and that hundreds and hundreds, and at one point over 1,000 veterans were put on a so-called secret wait list. And many of those veterans, he claims, never had a chance to see a doctor. Now, the woman at the center of all of this, who he says is lying and is covering this up, is a woman by the name of Sharon Hellman, who's the medical center director. I had a chance to speak with Dr. Foote just about an hour ago. This is part of my interview with him.
She says staff efforts are resulting in appointments available within 2 weeks for patients. Some providers have appointments within a week, and some providers have access the same day. Patients are walking in and are being seen every single day. That hasn't stopped. Your reaction?
The part about the new patients in 14 days is a total fabrication based on the time when they were removed from the secret list and placed in its computer. The guidelines, they wanted below 14 days, so they just wait until there's an appointment and stick them in, pull them off the list. They tried to get care. They were put on a secret electronic waiting list, and if they died, they were just, certainly on the paper, just crossed off and as if they had never shown up for care. No record to track back. In 2012, December, we had 13,000 patients that did not have providers. And they've been hiding this by putting these in holding clinics.
So basically, a veteran would go into the hospital and they would put him on this secret list until they knew that he could be seen within the proper amount of time.
You got it. We're trained every year on requirements and record keeping. And basically, when someone prevents the care and you don't make a record of it, okay, and then if they die, you just erase it like they've never been there, that's a HIPAA violation. And HIPAA penalties call for, if there's harm to the patient, I think death would count as that, $250,000 fine per case and up to 10 years in prison.
What do you think should happen to some of these top administrators if your allegations are true, that they are lying and they are covering up and there are veterans who are dead? What do you think should happen to some of the top level management who run the VA?
I think they should face the same consequences that a provider in private practice would face for doing this.
Hang them.
Prosecution.
Prison time?
If patients died because they limited the access to them and they could have been saved had they been cared, and they did that because they were trying to get a bonus, which we believe strongly that they were, yes.
And boy, those really are just damning allegations. By the way, Senator John McCain now weighing in on this scandal. He wrote a letter to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs tonight, and in part I'll read. Senator John McCain says, "I cannot express how troubling these allegations are to me as a veteran and to the community of veterans whom the VA was established to serve." Guys, I'll send it now back.
My name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Will?
The New York Jets.
No, I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is America
not the greatest country in the world, Professor? That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine. Sharon, the NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of our paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always?
Hey.
And with a straight face, you're going to tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom.
All right.
And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. And one of them is there is absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? Sure used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
Let both sides seek to invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Together, let us explore the stars, conquer the deserts, eradicate disease, tap the ocean depth, and encourage the arts and commerce. Let both sides unite to heed in all corners of the earth the command of Isaiah to undo the heavy burdens and let the oppressed go free. And if a beachhead of cooperation may push back the jungle of suspicion, let both sides join in creating a new endeavor, not a new balance of power, but a new world of law, where the strong are just and the weak secure and the peace preserved. All this will not be finished in the first 100 days, nor will it be finished in the first 1,000 days, nor in the life of this administration, nor even perhaps in our lifetime on this planet. But let us begin. In your hands, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our course. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service surround the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation.
This is a day of affirmation, a celebration of liberty. We stand here in the name of freedom. At the heart of that Western freedom and democracy is the belief that the individual man, the child of God, is the touchstone of value, and all society, all groups and states exist for that person's benefit. Therefore, the enlargement of liberty for individual human beings must be the supreme goal and the abiding practice of any Western society. The first element of this individual liberty is the freedom of speech, the right to express and communicate ideas, to set oneself apart from the dumb beasts of field and forest, the right to recall governments to their duties and to their obligations. Above all, the right to affirm one's membership and allegiance to the body politic, to society, to the men with whom we share our land, our heritage, and our children's future. Hand in hand with freedom of speech goes the power to be heard, to share in the decisions of government which shape men's lives. Everything that makes man's life worthwhile, family, work, education, a place to rear one's children, and a place to rest one's head, all this depends on the decisions of government. All can be swept away by a government which does not heed the demands of its people, and I mean all of its people. Therefore, this essential humanity of man can be protected and preserved only where government must answer, not just to the wealthy, not just to those of a particular religion, not just to those of a particular race, but to all of the people. And even government, by the consent of the governed, as in our own Constitution, must be limited in its power to act against its people, so that there may be no interference with the right to worship, but also no interference with the security of the home. No arbitrary imposition of pains or penalties on an ordinary citizen by officials high or low. No restriction on the freedom of men to seek education or to seek work or opportunity of any kind, so that each man may become all that he is capable of becoming. Many nations have set forth their own definitions and declarations of these principles, and there have often been wide and tragic gaps between promise and performance.
listen to these speeches from Robert and John F. Kennedy, his older brother.